I was getting double mastectomy. And during that process, they discovered that it also in my lymph nodes. And that's what really scared me, because that's how my mother died of melanoma, but it also spread to her brain. And so I was really worried that was going to happen to me. She said, "Are you going to lose your hair? Is it in your head or is it in your hair?" I was like, "Well, no, it's not my hair." And then that minute, I was like, "Oh my God, I've got to do whatever I can to save my hair."
Did your mom lose her hair?
Yes. I think because we both love our kids so much. That's how I had to look at it in the beginning. This is not about me. This is about how we are going to still have a family, still have them feel like they have a family.
Welcome back to Cake for Dinner, where we talk all things motherhood. Today's guest is Kerry Coyle. She owns The Tox in Delray Beach, and we really got into the nitty-gritty of overcoming cancer and parenting alongside that and all that entailed. I really think that you're going to gain a lot of hope from this episode. I hope you love it. Well, I'm so glad you came. I just connect with you and think you're funny, and we always have a great conversation. So at the very least, we'll enjoy ourselves.
Yes.
Okay.
And we may not have to post it.
And we might not. So I really just wanted to have you on and dive a little bit into your life. I would just like to go ahead and jump right in. Yeah. I know that you recovered from cancer. How long ago?
I was diagnosed in 2020.
Okay.
Right when Florida shut down.
Wild time.
Eventually diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, ER/PR positive, HER2 negative. But now I'm doing great. Doing great.
So I happen to know a little bit about your story, and I know that your mom did die of cancer. Did she die of breast cancer?
No. So breast cancer has never been on my radar. She died of melanoma.
Got it.
Growing up near the beach, we were always very much on the beach with baby oil back then.
Yeah.
And it didn't ever cross my mind. Sometimes it did, but as I grew older, but no. So
how old was she when she passed?
She was 45.
And how old were you?
5.
Wow.
Right.
So tell me what that's like. So you get diagnosed with cancer. I mean, there had to have been, I would imagine it hits different when your mom has passed away.
It hits different. And now I have the chills. So, I kind of figured, melanoma was more in my game.
Yeah.
More, what I was going to have if I hadn't. It scared me to no end. At first, I was terrified.
What did it tell me? Like what it looked like? How did you find out? What was the?
So I don't even know. It was so crazy. I felt a lump.
Okay.
I had just quit my job.
Okay.
And I am supporting 2 kids and, paying for my house and all the things. I was already divorced.
Okay.
And I felt a lump after I quit my job. I'm like, better get to the doctor before that insurance runs out. And went to the doctor right away. And she's like, you know what, we're just going to schedule with a breast surgeon just in case. Went and got the mammogram, and they couldn't find anything on the mammogram. They had to do the ultrasound. They couldn't find it there, but everyone could feel it. So then I went back to the surgeon. She felt another lump, and so it was very scary. So they couldn't even really get a good biopsy from either one of the lumps, which is very, very scary because I had mammograms before.
Sure.
And
how quick does that process go? So they tell you you have cancer.
yeah. And then it was almost immediate. I was getting a double mastectomy. And during that process, they discovered that I had it also in my lymph nodes. And that's what really scared me. Because that's how my mother died of of melanoma, but it also spread to her brain. And so I was really worried that was going to happen to me.
So how did you get through that time? Because you were single at that time, correct?
I was just dating my now fiance. So I was a year in with him.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I was at that point, I'm still like getting up before he does, brushing my hair, brushing my teeth, trying to still look cute.
Right.
And
you're about to face the most
I'm about to
intimate, vulnerable,
yeah,
like thing ever.
So I was, for sure he was going to be gone. He's not going to do. My father had just died, and then this happened. We had a lot of life stuff going. I had a lot of life stuff going on, and he didn't. He stuck around and took care of me. But that was also scary because,
of course,
who wants to deal with, someone you're just starting to date and they have cancer and all those things.
And were you, because you often keep it close to the vest, like were you able to really be vulnerable and like ask for help? And
I'm still not really great at that. I'm definitely a whole lot better than I was.
Well, that I'm sure
that helped.
Like smacked you into submission. I mean,
yes. And all of a sudden I had people come and just kind of take care of it. Like I had a girlfriend that came over and organized my medical binder for me and took notes because I couldn't bring anybody to the doctor's office.
Because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
Oh my gosh.
And so the hospital was redoing how they, putting processes in place for COVID because we didn't. No one knew. And so it was kind of a mess. It was a mess. But I had friends that came and organized and took calls and managed me.
I wonder how, you have a twin sister.
Yes.
I wonder how that was for her. Super scary, I bet.
Super scary. We were having, what I've learned from relationships is that everybody shows love in a different way.
Yeah.
And I forgot that, and I forgot how, she showed up for me, if she wasn't at my house every day, I would get upset.
She was probably very scared.
She was terrified. But I didn't know that.
Of course. Well, you were terrified.
Because I was terrified, and I didn't really ask either. Looking back, I know that was after, conversation after conversation. I now know that she was terrified.
Well, because even though your experience was different, you're the one with the cancer, your childhood experience was the same or at least similar. So I would imagine that was very frightening for her. And so you're right, people show up differently, and I think we show up with ourselves, like our experience, our trauma, our good shit, all of it, So it's like getting older is wonderful in that way because I feel like you can look back and be like, oh, that's why they showed up this way or didn't show up this way, So what about the kids? Because I feel like you kind of have a unique peek into what it was like to be a kid with your mom having cancer. So how did that show up for you as a parent?
That was probably, I don't want to cry.
You should. You could perfectly feel fine.
That was the hardest part.
I bet.
So my younger daughter was 8, I don't know, 8.
Young.
And one of her friends friends' moms had just gone through cancer and lost her hair. And she said, "Are you going to lose your hair? Is it in your head or is it in your hair?" I was like, "Well, no, it's not my hair." And then that minute, I was like, "Oh my God, I've got to do whatever I can to save my hair."
And did your mom lose her hair?
Yes. So she died when I was 5. So I have, snapshot memories.
Sure.
And one of the memories was her. Well, I was walking into the bathroom and I saw her without a wig on, and that was terrifying. And it's one of 2 memories I have. So I was determined
to not lose your hair,
to not lose my hair and not look sick. I didn't want to.
What a tremendous amount of pressure just for you. Like, I'm going to go through this and I'm also going to do it and not lose my hair and not look sick and still show up for these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, part of this podcast is like how we wear all the hats, like how we do the things, right? Because people build a business and they still have to parent.
Right.
Getting sick and parenting, I feel like has to be the most wild example of parenting while doing something else.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. I mean,
how can it get harder?
And I'm so lucky that I have an ex-husband that would help, and my sister would help, and people showed up in that way for me and for the girls and for our whole family. Everybody helped without asking. Just came in and did things.
Did you communicate with your kids about how you felt or your experience?
No. I was too scared.
To open that up.
Yeah. And I didn't want my time doing it to be about cancer. I didn't want to talk about it a lot. I just wanted to just push through and get to the other side, if I was getting to the other side, in my best way possible.
Did you think you wouldn't get to the other side?
Yeah.
Like in your real feelings? What was that like?
Terrible. And then there was always bits and pieces, as I moved along, and I'm still scared. I'm still scared it's gonna recur, or I'm gonna, melanoma's next or whatever. But I can't live in that, I can't.
I think that's just, I interviewed one other woman who recovered from cancer, and she said that it's just kind of an always thing. It isn't an every moment thing, but it's kind of just there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think that ever goes away. And, maybe that's good for me too, because maybe that makes me go to the gym more or think about what I'm eating or,
Do you think it shapes how you show up in life, like as a parent? Like, do you think you appreciate life any differently?
It's very different. I think I've always appreciated life and my kids and, loved kind of the chaotic, 17 kids over. I love that.
Right.
But I feel like I want to connect more with my kids. I feel like I'm not going to miss a lacrosse game, or I'm not going to miss the things that are important to them. I don't want to, and I won't. I'll quit my job. I'll, rearrange everything to be, to feel connected and know that how much they're loved.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the value of having a podcast like this. And I'm sure it was a very hard experience, but I know for me, all my hard stuff, when it helps somebody else or it kind of makes my life make sense. And I think that unless you've had that experience, there are certainly times, if we're honest, we don't really appreciate life.
Right.
So,
because we're going.
Because
I'm messy. We're going, and there was no time for it.
Yeah.
There's no time for
And it's like horrible to have that to make you stop and appreciate
Right.
it. But even listening to it makes me want to appreciate my life more because who knows?
Right. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? And, I was very lucky. I was able to be home during treatment and not work and, be taken care of, so to speak. So I feel very fortunate. I was able to really get centered, focused on what's important, juice, do all those things that I knew that were going to make me feel better. And in fact, Keisha, I probably felt the best in my life during that time.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Based, you think, on all the stuff you were doing?
I mean, yeah.
You were just being like completely.
I was great. Like
You were
ate
locked in,
well.
like my son would say.
Yeah, I was totally locked in. I ate well. I ate clean. I juiced. I was going to the gym. I was, did spiritually connected. Listening to podcast after podcast and like trying to really kind of help myself and not get stuck in I have a symptom.
What do you think
chemo.
that's about? Were you afraid of like if you went down, you were just going to go down too far, or were you?
Oh yeah, I would going down the rabbit hole. What are the symptoms of chemo, and was waiting to expect all the symptoms of chemo.
So you were trying to just stay in the games,
Yeah.
try to stay as positive as you could. So how about after the fact? Like how much, because one of the things that I've heard is that after cancer, like after you aren't, you're maybe healthy again, other people think you're better,
Right.
and you're still struggling.
That was harder than cancer or active treatments, because like everyone, it's like when you have a baby,
Yeah.
it's like really cute the first month, and then
The food,
now you
the
just
food
have a
train
kid.
is over.
right. Now you have a kid, and now you're like
Who won't
everybody
sleep.
else, and you're fine. Like you're cancer free now, and it's like, well, I don't
You're like,
know.
I guess.
I don't know. They never
complete-
said that.
I'm
but-
completely different.
Right.
Right.
So that was harder for me after. Not that it wasn't always supported, not that I didn't always have friends, but it was just like, oh, now what? Now how do I like learn from this? What am I going to get from this?
Right.
And I think I went into depression, major depression, and which I never, I never really had. My anxiety was off the roof, and I was just waiting, waiting for that next doctor's appointment. I was so scared for every doctor's appointment for them to tell me some bad news.
And how long are we out now? How many years?
5 years.
And 5 years is like the magic number, isn't it?
It's supposed to be, yeah.
It's supposed to.
On my way here, I was trying to call my doctor to get my scheduled appointment. But,
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
So do you think you live any different now? Like the way you, like, let's say their hobbies or interests or passions or.
Yeah, that experience gave me, I would say, the courage to do what I want.
In terms of work or just
In terms of
whatever you want?
work, friendships, like, just kind of everything, I'm not going to waste time, and I don't want to do things I don't want to do.
Right.
And I don't want to be around people that
You
I don't want to be
enjoy.
around.
Right.
And I want to spend my life doing work that I love. I had another job for 20 years in addiction, and I didn't want to do that anymore. And I never had the courage to leave that world because I didn't know what I was going to do.
Right.
I didn't know what else I was good at.
What a hard, shitty road to get there. But I mean, the confidence that it's giving you is, I guess, the silver lining, right?
Yeah.
And wanting to just live your life the way you want to live it and having the courage to do that. So what are you doing now?
So shortly after that, I started a company called the Curative,
Right.
doing gifting for women undergoing treatments
Yes.
or anything medical, pregnancy or whatever.
I actually bought one of the boxes for a friend and they loved it.
Good.
There was so much special sentiment in that.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Really sweet. I mean, I was so great. I had incredible support during the whole time. But that, I couldn't, wear another pink ribbon sweatshirt. So I wanted to do things that made people feel beautiful and that they're not a victim of it. They could still be beautiful, and here are some things that can help you feel normal again. I felt like everything was always about cancer, and I couldn't live my life being all about cancer. I didn't want to, and I didn't want that for my kids. I didn't want that for my family.
Well, I feel like cancer had already traumatized you just before even you got cancer.
Right. Yeah.
So it was like, enough
of this C word. So now, so that's been great and well received. Thank you for buying.
Is that company still?
Yes, I still have it.
Okay.
But my new focus is the Tox.
Okay.
It is a body contouring technique that focuses on lymphatic and digestive detox. And so, with cancer being in my lymph nodes, I was actually just going through my old books. And I felt like I needed to get cleaned out,
Yes.
like just clean me out. And so I couldn't find anything like that while I was going through treatment. And then I found something, and it has been.
So that's like the heart of it. So it's almost like a lymphatic.
Almost like lymphatic massage.
Right.
It's certainly not a massage. We're not massage therapists, but it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels great.
It does. It does feel great.
Yeah.
So what does it actually do? What's the real goal of it? Because it's definitely not going in and getting a massage. You feel like it's a little more, I don't want to say medical, but like you feel like something's happening.
Something is happening. Yeah. We're moving everything around. So your lymphatic system is kind of like a gutter.
Okay.
You got to clean it out. There's no automatic system like your heart pumps blood to filter, clean out. There's no way to do that. There's really no body system that does it, or your system that does it. So we push it all out, and the results are incredible. People feel less bloated. It reduces inflammation. It balances hormones. It makes you feel good. You leave feeling lighter, more refreshed.
I really noticed the most difference like in my stomach.
Yes.
Like that's the least enjoyable part of it.
Yeah. It's because it's awkward.
It is. Yeah. It is a little awkward, but that's the part that I noticed the most, like afterwards, not just bloated, but like, clear, like just
less puffy.
Yeah, definitely less puffy, but also it felt better on the inside. I don't know how to explain it. Like I just felt like healthier. Lighter. And healthier, and like something just definitely happened. Yes.
And I think the more people go, the better they start to feel.
I've started to hear a lot about it. Just what else do you guys do there? So is there anything, are there levels of that, or is it just one type of?
It's one technique. We have one technique for the body and one technique for the face.
Okay.
So we do a facial sculpting service, which helps lift.
I've just started hearing about that. I'm actually going to a place in California when I'm there,
Okay,
a
good.
woman who does that.
Great. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
It lifts, it sculpts, and you have so many lymph nodes in your face and neck that it really makes a difference. People see results immediately from that as well.
Would you treat somebody when they're in chemo?
No.
Or it's after?
So, there's not a whole lot of research, which is really unfortunate as well. I asked my doctor when I was going through it if I could get lymphatic massages, and she said, no, just wait.
Okay.
And so
it's more of an after.
We're not treating lymphedema or anything along those lines, but
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. And you're enjoying it.
I love it. I love our clients. Our staff is great. They're a lot of fun. But the clients really feel results, and it's so nice to see people feel results and feel better afterwards and really genuinely feel better, not giving me yes.
What do you think you're most proud of? Because beating cancer by itself, I already feel like dumb asking the question because it's so amazing. But is there anything specific that either in your parenting or your life?
Yes. I think my proudest moment is being able to really get along with my ex-husband. We're divorced. We had my kids were 3 and 5. And so figuring out how to really co-parent has been well. I don't know if I co-parent. I don't know if I parent well or not.
You're like, he might not think.
But we get along, and that has probably been the biggest, my most proud moment is being able to get
so much to be proud of there because I feel like so many people aren't able, and no judgment. I'm sure it's a super hard thing to do,
right.
But the beneficiaries are little people that deserve to feel stable, you know? And I think, why do you think you guys are able to do that?
I think because we both love our kids so much that's how I had to look at it in the beginning. This is not about me. This is about how we are going to still have a family, still have them feel like they have a family. Because when I was growing up without a mom, I was different. Amy, my sister and I were different than other kids. And there wasn't a lot of kids in their class when they were that young that had been divorced, and so they were like the first. So they didn't know that that's a thing.
And you guys have just made a choice to stick close too. Physically, you guys live close. You guys were both, our kids went to school together, but you guys were both always at everything, which couldn't have been easy in the beginning, but just as an outsider looking in is super impressive because the kids have always seemed super happy going wherever, doing whatever.
It's whatever, we're, who you want to sleep there tonight? Great. But typically we have our days, but we it's all about the kids, and I think people I don't want to judge, but sometimes people forget.
It's just in my book, that's what I'm talking about is it's a parenting book, but a huge part of parenting is getting your shit together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you bring yourself to the parenting experience. And I think that's a big part of it because ultimately you're trying to parent, right? And if you can't resolve your personal issues, it just makes the whole thing harder, and it definitely impacts the kid. My first husband passed away, so I didn't have to co-parent, but I had to cope with that being their story, being my story, and I'm definitely guilty of showing up as a parent with that theme. I've probably parented from the place of guilt a lot. Overdone a lot of stuff,
No problem. I'll overdo all the time, probably.
Yeah. If we show up as parents based on who we are.
Right.
And who we are is a lot to do with our experience as a kid. Your mom passing away of cancer definitely shaped how you showed up. Right. And it's a big thing, I think, is being willing to look at that stuff. My daughter has forced me into submission.
Yeah.
She refused to conform, refused to fit in. And I had to really take a look at myself. Why do I give a shit so much? Why am I so uncomfortable?
Right. Right.
And so I had to really take a look at that. And we were in the same school, and that tiny little private school, it felt like everybody had their shit together. And I'm sure they didn't. But as a single mom with kids, with that story of their dad passing and just the whole drama that ensued, you roll up into that car line. It just feels like a fucking judgment zone.
Yes, right, exactly. And then, they open the doors and all the things fall out and, it's like,
welcome.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm going to do
I'll be on my way now.
I'm like, just put it back in. Put it back in.
I'll never forget the time I rolled around and Mr. Nevat was there, and I had Josh's truck because of who knows why, but it was this jacked up truck, and I couldn't really I was so nervous because that turn was tight, and I came around and I took out they had that big tall orange cone, and not did I just take it out, it got stuck in the wheel. So the truck was so big that it was like, and then he was kind of trying to get it out. And then there's a whole line of people behind me. Everybody's annoyed because, if you don't get there in time, you got to get out of the car. I have never been, well, probably I have, but it was mortifying.
It's mortifying.
And bless his heart, he was trying to help me without me being, embarrassed. And meanwhile, I had no bra, so I couldn't get out of the car, no shoes.
Of course,
I had to whisper to him, we got to make this work.
Get those.
He
knew.
You
know who they are.
He knew when he saw me what he was dealing with.
And that's the beauty of the people in our lives. They could sense when they're like, okay, I'll get them.
Yeah.
And being real with people.
Yes.
That's the other thing I learned during cancer and during all of this. I don't have to pretend anymore, and I don't. I say it as it is. Mm-hmm.
Which is really the good shit anyway.
Right.
I used to try to fit in a little bit. I mean, I've never been great at it anyway, so maybe I just got tired of trying, but it never worked for me. It never worked. It wasn't attractive to anybody else because I didn't fit anyway. But when I'm just myself, and I'm just boldly myself, I'm happier. I end up attracting more people, more like-minded people, so it's if you can pass anything down to the younger generation, is just be out with it.
Just be real.
Just be out with it.
Real.
It's way less exhausting.
Yeah.
And it's so much more helpful. What are we here for anyway?
Right.
Just to get a bunch of shit? I mean, at the end of the day, if you can be helpful by being who you actually are. I mean, if I would have known that then, I would have rolled up and just been like, yo, I got a safety pin on my bra right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just, if I got one on.
Just be yourself. So it's unfortunate for me. I had to go through death and divorce and all these things to kind of get there. And you had to go through cancer. It's it'd be nice if the road was softer and gentler to get to being comfortable with yourself. Right. But here we are.
And maybe that comes with age. Maybe it comes with
all of it, I think.
All of it, right. You know, our experiences, our kids' experiences, but learning from it and doing different, Yeah. I always felt like when I was in my old career that I needed to be perfectly buttoned up and have decisions and be able to, and I just can't do that anymore,
Right. And why? Because whoever is watching and learning from you, they're not learning anything valuable.
Right.
What I've learned is, when Jeremy first passed away, I was helping this girl and I told her I can't help anymore because I don't have anything to give. My whole life's falling apart. Right. And she said, and this has helped me for 20 years. She said, I've learned more from watching you rise from this than anything else you've taught me. And I thought, bitch, you know how much shit I taught you? All the amazing, all the amazing things I thought I had all this wisdom I thought I had imparted on her. But what she learned the most from was watching me fall and get back up. And so that's part of why I want to do this, because I want us to be authentic and real, and we can pass it on to our daughters, but also younger moms that are coming up at 30 trying to keep it all tight.
You don't have
Just
to.
let your hair down.
So I told my kids I was coming on your podcast and talking about parenting, and they both had, I'll never forget the look on their faces. They were trying not to cry and laugh, laughing so hard that I was like, they're like, what are you going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know, messy parenting, it's
Yeah.
messy. I make, and I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Thank God I have, other people in my life to fix it.
Yeah, I say if you don't feel like you could be yourself around your friends, get different friends.
Yeah.
Get different friends because there's so much to enjoy, and just being able to be like, we have a friend in common, Michelle, and she cracks me up. And that's so enjoyable.
It is exactly right. And we were talking about her the other day. People that make me laugh. I want to be around people that make me laugh.
Yes.
And I just don't have time.
And that are living and just being themselves.
Yes. And she doesn't pretend either.
Right.
She's a great person.
Yeah.
She's a great example of people who don't pretend.
Yeah, I love it. Well, part of the reason I named the podcast Cake for Dinner is because when I struggle in life, my dad bakes me cake. So my mom baked this. So
it's pink.
And it's pink. And it is pink because of you. I had an earlier podcast and it was not pink.
Thank you.
I always think of pink I think of pink when I think of you. So we're going to eat this and close, but thank you so much for coming.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Yes. How'd we do?
He's going to have a lot of edits.
No, you should eat the cake and keep chatting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why, was that short?
No, you have like 10 minutes left. Just eat the cake and keep talking. Whatever comes up, comes up. And if we want to use it, we use it. If not,
Okay.
because you eat the cake with every guest.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She's had enough cake, is what she's saying. She's like, no, I want this bitch. I want this bitch out of my house. I got a 1 o'clock. I'm trying to get,
All right. So this is strawberry for you.
Yes, love it.
And my mom wanted to make sure you knew that there's no dye in this. That the pink comes from her boiling the strawberries, I think. I mean, dang, it is actually really good.
It's delicious. And I could take a piece home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that okay?
All guests take it
That
with them.
is delicious. And that was very sweet that she didn't put any red dye in it. Number 40, huh?
They're the best. I am grateful that they live a mile down the street. And
I remember when you started the cake walk at that school.
you know why? Because when I was a kid, I grew up, we had no money, but like I had great stuff. Like my mom made cakes homemade. I had like great birthday parties. Like looking back, it was all free and it was all homemade, but like it was legit. And one of the things my mom did was at my school, there's a huge public school, and they had was called May Day, and they would do these like games or whatever. And my mom did a cake walk. Then everybody baked the cakes homemade. I mean, this was in like the 80s. So I thought at our little school, I would have the cake walk, and I was so excited and so proud. But people would like show up with like Publix cupcakes. I'm like, no, it's a cake walk, But then I just sort of like went with it. And,
But you let it go. I do remember that.
But
You're
like at first I was like, oh
yeah.
no,
No,
it
it's
like
a cake
doesn't-
walk.
yeah. But it ended up being something that everyone loved. So I don't know if anyone's ever done a cake walk, but you walk in the circle to the music, and then when it stops, you're on whatever number, and then you can win whatever cake is on that number. I mean, that thing was packed.
It was packed. It was a hit.
It was a hit. I wonder if they do it.
Well, they closed.
Oh, they closed. I wonder if they did it till the end. I bet they did. I bet maybe Jen did it.
Yeah. I don't
Jen
know.
is literally in my book, my parenting book.
Is she?
Yes, because I learned so much from my relationship with her, the experience with her, because originally I would feel so insecure because she was so together, and I just couldn't even believe it. Like one time we went to their house, And Josh was going on and on about how everything was so together. And I went home and I actually cried when I got home because I felt like such a loser. And I would feel the same way doing anything with her for school, with the kids or whatever. And one day, or like in the mornings, my kids would be like, can you call Miss Jen and ask her if it's this day or is it that day? And I would feel so defensive because I'd be like, I'm your mom.
Right.
Finally, I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me call Miss Jen.
Yeah.
Because the reality is Miss Jen knew.
Miss
And
Jen
I
knew,
didn't know.
And she has an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
And she has everything.
And I just like decided, you know what? And then one time we were going to plan something together and I was like, look, I'm not good at this part. I'm good at this part. And she said, great, that's the part I'm not good at. And I remember just being like, huh. And from then on, I didn't feel insecure. I let her do the thing she was good at, and I did the thing I was good at. I was good at showing up for the cakewalk, talking in the thing, marching around. And you know what? She had the numbers organized. She had them laminated. She had a chart. And she never felt insecure about the part I did. So I realized.
Well, you don't know that.
I feel like she didn't.
No.
She might have.
I
But
feel like.
she might have, but I learned so much from that experience with her. And I learned to let other people be good at what they're good at and just show up as me and be good at what I'm good at, And she was just always so graceful or so gracious and letting me show up disorganized and scattered and just like so great about it. And I put her in the book because I learned a lot from that. I really grew from that experience. She probably has no idea, but I grew a lot from that experience because as a mom, if you can put that aside and just be good at what you're good at, bring that to the table.
Right.
And if everybody did that, you end up with a great situation and happier people and happier kids.
Yeah. So I was out to dinner last night with my fiance and a friend of mine, and my older daughter calls my fiance and said, "How do I make this?" I'm like, "What? She didn't call me?"
You're like,
Well,
let me check my missed calls.
Meanwhile, my phone's dead. Of course, she's not calling me. And came home, and there's like 4 kids in the house cooking dinner, and it went all the way he told her to.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
But that takes confidence and security. And like this part of this stage of life is so wonderful because you can just kind of, but in your 30s, like you're striving, you're trying to like get somewhere, you're trying to earn some credibility or
make sure they're dressed right.
Yeah.
Tuck in your shirt, you brush your hair, period. And your teeth.
I literally remember seeing the McCabe kids with their hair all wild. And like, these are the things I remember because that would tell me it was okay that Olivia's hair was like that, because at that stage, you're just trying to find your way as a person.
Yeah.
And you find your way a little bit through the parenting, but yeah.
You learn a lot about people during drop off.
Yeah. Drop off.
I remember.
Drop off is literally the first. Within the first 3 paragraphs of my book, it talks about drop off. And someone that was helping me with editing was like, I don't know if I'm like, no. You don't have kids. You don't get it. I'm telling you, drop off is a thing for moms.
It's a huge thing.
Especially in the school we were in. But I think it's a thing no matter what. Because it doesn't really matter if it's logistically drop off or if it's seeing the other parents.
Right.
But that's a thing.
Right. It's a thing, and people, get dressed.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of people were able to tell me and Amy apart. But
right.
Because my sister would go drop off in her pajamas. And I was like,
and you would be going to work.
And I would be going to work.
Yeah.
And
that is actually how I used to tell you guys apart. Yeah. Now you don't even look alike to me in a weird way, but once you know twins well, it's just a different thing.
Right.
Well,
but that gave me hope too, and everyone just thought it was cute and very much Amy, and it's still.
But they weren't in just any pajamas. Like she always looked cute.
Oh no, they were like short shorts. Yeah, like her butt was hanging out. But like,
Well, if only we knew that the butt was going to look the best it ever would look, then you would have hung yours out too.
Shit me. I was damn right I would.
You know?
Yeah.
I try and tell myself that now is like, in 10 years from now, I'm going to wish for all of this, the face, the butt, the wisdom, you know, whatever it is. So enjoy it now, you know? And if only you could have like thought that when you were 30 and 40.
Yeah.
I'm just getting that now, but I'm grateful for the perspective because it's true.
Yeah, it is true. And I guess it's getting older too. We learn a lot.
Yeah.
And things aren't as important.
Yeah. Well, I think you know what is important and you focus on that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming. Thank you. It's a great conversation.
Thanks.